Alrighty, everyone, and welcome back to Heroes Lounge. I am Bahamut, your caster. On the left-hand side, we're going to be having the Church of Murky, and on the right is going to be, and I actually have to look at this, Draconis and Eternum, so which I think we're going to do DS. Or DE. I don't know, DS is one of the maps that was banned out. But speaking of maps that was banned out, let's go ahead and take a peek at those, as we did have the coin flip won by the members of DE. They went ahead and banned out Tomb of Spider Queen. We also had Dragonshire banned out by the members of Church of Murky. Towers of Doom is the first map chosen. And we got ourselves a bit of a draft starting out here. And also, just really quickly, hi, everybody. Thank you so much to Chop Judo, Select Draco, and KV Strike for the follows. Also, Chop Judo and KV Strike, thank you for the bits. Bandit is a very nice boy. Also, hello to everybody in chat. Siege, Jinxie Cat, Kriv, Kaleo, Ektar, Siege, Select Draco, Ektar, Hero Sharebot that I thought I got rid of, Kaimo Trips in. Welcome, everybody. Stark as well. Thank you for being here. How are you all doing this evening? We've got some awesome games on our hands. Also, if you missed, oh, Bandit's the best. If you missed Tetcher's D&D session today, go ahead and check that VOD. It's really good. I watched it while I was at work today. But we got ourselves a draft. Let's actually okay, apparently no one wanted to do Asmodan, so we'll go ahead and pull this away. And looks like one of the members DC'd. Oh no. I guess they were just that upset with the Asmodan pickup right at the start. So I'll find out from them what the issue was. That's weird. It was the same person who had the Windows update. But either way, thanks for hanging out. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening. Rip draft indeed. Oh, apparently there is a... Yeah. Fans and first pick the same. Oop, that's... that draft in the same place as HTC. Oh, that's a low blow, Siege. That's a low blow. All right, looks like we're gonna get them back in here. Captains are all set. Promptu. Oh, interpretive dance. Good enough? I have no idea. Okay, so they're gonna try and make their way back into this. Do that in a second. But, hello. How's everyone else's day been? I got to work all day, and now I get to cast. So I'm super, super pumped about this. I'm having a wonderful day. Are you having a wonderful evening? Because I better. I am. I had a good day at work. I played with Bandit. I ate some good dinner, and now I got some casting. I'll just find out if the teams are ready. We got it ready from one, we got it ready from the other. And let's go ahead and get right back into this. All the banners are set, all that is good. Okay, cool. So we can go ahead and bring it back to our draft here. Hopefully we don't have another DC. I assume that they should be fine at this point. It must have just been an initial error from starting out the game and all of that after doing an update. When is this angry? You didn't give it blood, I told you. Give us the dance? I'll have to think of something over like the next week or so. Something to actually do. But I'm going to use this moment to say we got a draft, so let's focus on that instead. This is gonna be an Arphia ban, as we did see beforehand. So let's talk about the actual map. I'm really, really excited about the Asmodan. I'm excited to see this in the first pick. I think it's a great pick for Towers of Doom. I think the push power that you can get from it is wonderful for your team. The pokes are... I just already... Thank you, Kaleo, for clipping that. I gave you the dance. It's true. But we do have the majority of the tanks banned out here. Diablo is really good engagement. Garrosh is just a powerful force on this map. And as well, Mal'Ganis has a really good engage on top of it. And that is not a skin I've seen in draft yet. And I kind of hate it, love it. It makes Dahaka not look creepy at all, which I get is the point of him being a toy, but Well, let's actually go back in this draft, though. So Dahaka is going to offer some great rotational advantage for the members of DE. They're going to be able to soak the top lane and then come down to the shrines, get some good flank positions. This is a great map for Dahaka also to use mobility through the bushes. And then Stukov is just a great in power. Looks like they're going to go for more of a control composition at this time. They're going to maybe go for some single picks. Maybe they'll go for Stitches as well. But the Stukov silence is going to be a big factor for them. On the left-hand side, they did pick up this White Mane and a Nubrak. The Nubrak does give them more engage value. White Mane from the backline will be able to get some healing as long as she's getting that zeal onto the friendly members. We're going to have to see what they go for. They're going to need some sort of damage that's also clear for the Asmodan. I wouldn't actually be opposed to like a Grey Mane ban here or even a Jaina ban. It'll help the Asmodan and it'll help the other team. It pairs well with all of those, but they go for the Phoenix ban. They don't want to deal with any sort of potential slows with the Purification Salvo on top of that. Tank players better have deep pools. That's a good point to make. But Phoenix will be taken off. Really great for the solo lane, great for the poke. A strong engager, a strong disengage. There's a lot of good utility that Phoenix can take. Now, on the side of DE, on the side of Church of Murky, I would say just ban out another tank. Just choke that pool, and that's going to be the Stitches ban. And I think that's a really, really good ban. It paired well with the Stukov and the Dahaka. It offered more into what I would think is their control composition, because they're playing. There's not a whole lot of aggression. Dahaka does have some kind of, with the brush truck, is a little aggressive in that sense, but not the same way as like a Nubrak kind of dives in or Grey Mane. But is Chroma still viable on this map? Absolutely, and I actually think we could definitely see her here. This would pair well into their composition, but we're going to get the ETC and Jaina, so we're going to be looking for that Ring of Frost mosh pit setup, and then Dahaka is going to maybe have some single target isolation or just the tongue drag for a little bit of extra setup. So far, that's a really, really good pairing coming out from them. They're going to need their solo laner though on the side of Church of Murky, as well as some damage or something to clear to help the Asmodan. Now, this is Church of Murky, so I'm personally expecting a Murky pickup. I absolutely think that they're going to take that, but we'll see here, as I do still think they should pick up the Grey Mane. But actually, okay. They pick up the Thrall, and they pick up the Yrel. Yrel and Thrall actually, most of the time, being fairly strong in the solo lanes. We could see, like, Thrall bottom, Yrel top, Asmodan rotating between top and mid, getting stacks, and a Nubrak and White Mane helping in mid. And then Thrall helping in top. I kind of like that. Either way, they do need to round out the rest of their draft. They've got a solo laner, they've got support. They could just go for some more dive damage that pairs well with the Jaina. Not dive damage, but, well, that's what they do go for. That's just more setup for the Ring of Frost mosh pit. So high execution composition here. The deep pools. The cow is ambitious? You think so? Web rep could shut down a lot of that. Yeah, I agree. All tank players are Olympic divers. That's a good one. Crash Lightning Thrall. We'll see. If they do rotations between mid and bottom, I would absolutely expect this to be a Crash Lightning Thrall. But a lot of what I've been seeing is a lot of Echo the Elements Thralls, and that would lend me to believe that's kind of the direction they would go. I'm not sure, to be honest. But thank you all for being here. Thank you once again to Chop Judo and KV Strike for the bits already and all the follows. You are all amazing people. Thank you. We're going to be loading into map number 1 in just a second. And while we have this opportunity, I can let you know, yo, this Void Ring is going to be sick. Well, we'll see. Because if they web wrap Jaina, it's going to be Void than nothing. Granted, if you also get stuck in the Void Prison, you can't really web wrap anyone. So, I'm not like, it's going to come down to execution. Like, I think I say that a lot about all these, but the thing is, I don't know. Like, when I know the teams, I can say, all right, I think they've got a draft that they look comfortable on, or I've seen them with this draft, or, you know, things like that. When it's two teams I don't know, both these teams have great execution. Like, obviously, the members of Church of Murky are going to be coming out in the later game. Asmodan needs to stack, Thrall needs to stack, and just I feel like Yrel kind of comes online around that 7 to 10 area. A lot of their composition does. Whereas there is, you know, some later game factors for the members of for DE. Can you void? Is it unavoidable? What? What's up, Godspeed? I'm sure they have a reason for my CCC is when just take without dying. I'll get you in with me after the stream. Interpretive dance move stream. We should just you should just come all the way over here from Colorado, Kriv, and we'll just film like a set of interpretive dance moves together. But we got ourselves a game. Let's go ahead and get into this. On the left-hand side, we are going to be having the members of Church of Murky, with Begully going to be on the White Mane, Redbeard is going to be on the Urel, Jay Show is going to be on the Thrall, Shock is going to be on the Anubrak, and rounding out the team with Orion on the Azmodan. And on the right-hand side, we have Draconis and Eternum, with Chop Judo Judo Chop going to be on the Dahaka, KV Strike is going to be on the Jaina, Selic Draco is going to be on the Stukov, King Dingo will be on that ETC, and Jazzy on the Zeratul. Let's go ahead and get into this, everyone. Game number 1, map number 1 between Church of Murky and Draconis and Eternum. That's going to be hard for me to say. I'll do my best for you all, but we currently have 4v5 in the mid lane. Jazzy going to get stunned out here. The dive goes in for Manubarak as well. Going to just get that blink right out. Fine. Meanwhile, though, we do have that Dahaka who did go into the top lane. We have 3 members already rotating off into bottom, so it seems like with the ETC and also going into the regen globe talents for them as well, or no, they went to Block Party. Sorry, I was looking at the regen globe talent. I thought he went for Proc Rockin' as well as Jaina went for Fingers of Frost, but she's going to be stacking, so I wouldn't be too surprised to at least see just the Jaina rotating between these lanes, but it could be a little worrisome, as we already see. Shock is going to be taking an aggressive rotation. J-Show, Orion, and Begully joining in on that. Jazzy getting forced out of the lane, a little worried. King Dingo going to be looking for some sort of entry for that power slide. Thrall will get the poke, and as Kriv noted in chat, this is going to be a Crash Lightning Thrall, seeing as how they are rotating in this 4-member group. But the thing is, they're not grouping up too much on the side of DE for those to take off. Chop Judo, I'm going to say, I don't know why my brain's doing it backwards, but Judo Chop and Redbeard are going to be squaring off in that top lane. We do potentially have rotations off for camps. No, not yet. I was wondering, we got that 1 minute mark. Usually we see one member break off and go for the sapper camps on the left or right side. And on that note, bottom lane, take this into your games. Bottom lane on this map is probably one of the most important lanes because of the fact that you can feed those sappers in, and if you can control one of the bell towers, it makes the rotations extremely difficult to continually to try and fight over those bottom 2 altar phases. Judo Chop almost gets the tongue drag there. Redbeard just going to be having that mount out just fine. And as we skim through some of the talents, Jaina doing a very good job at grabbing those regen globes for the level 1 questing talent. Hasn't done any heroic damage to the point of getting any stacks for that ice block, but they'll have to work their way for that. King Dingo will deny them for this invade. That is going to be the impale, but King Dingo might be in a bad spot. They have the power slide, and they'll be just fine, as we are going to be now getting our way back into this. Sorry, I am just skimming through Twitch chat, making sure I didn't... Okay. I saw a couple pings. I'm like, wait, is my audio good? Yeah, audio good. Okay. I always worry. I'm just like, am I about to miss some good callouts? But either way. Camp going to be picked up on the left-hand side. Solo laner still in top lane. That's probably the best place for Dahaka to be, is they'll be able to just get the brush talk in if they need it into this lower position, but they're going to be invading on the side of DE, and Church of Murky needs to find it out, as Shock is taking quite a bit of damage. KV Strike is really dumping the snow on top of them. Meanwhile, Azmodan and Begully will be able to finish out that camp, though the... Oh, looks like we are going to be having a DC from one player. I will let them handle the... Oh, okay. It's going to be one of those where they drop and they come right back, so there's no use for a pause. We do have the top right and top left being traded out, and this bottom will be where the contest takes place, as Shock is pinged here, and they're trying to focus down the tank. Body blocks coming out from Jazzy might be enough. The zeal from Begully is going to keep them alive, and the healing's going to be there. Meanwhile, we have a little stasis coming out from Judo Chop as we have Redbeard diving in. They try and get a little bit more damage here. Power Slide coming out from King Dingo onto Orion, and we kind of have a stalemate at the start of this. Shock going to be starting to take some damage. The tongue drag will not connect. We do have the burrow charge in, but it will not get the stun onto anyone, and a lot of abilities going off here, but not making the connections they're intending for. And we have the J-Show going for the channel onto this. Nice power slide coming up from King Dingo. A lot of the members getting low here. That will be the Anubrak falling first. We do have the altar, though, going over in favor for the Church of Murky. They lose their Anubrak, but they gain 4 shots on the enemy core. 4 to 8 in damage from that entire phase. Favor for Church of Murky. Now we go back to the rotations. We will have, I think, a single or a double altar phase after this one in the lower position of the map, which will give us a little bit more of a contest. So now we're looking for that rush to 7 to 10 area. They want to be ahead as quickly as possible. The timers on this map aren't the longest. I do believe it's 1 minute 30 in between each of the bell tower phases once they've been finalized and captured. I am sorry. I see that you're all hanging out in chat and saying things, but unfortunately I will not be able to read too much of it tonight, as this game is going very, very quickly, and I want to keep pace with it. J-Show is going to get caught out here. The power slide goes through. They have the wolf, and that won't be enough to proc enough. They also lose their level 4 stacks onto the Frostwolf path. Yeah. Frostwolf pack will be reset, and they'll have to go over. That would have been, it would have been cool if they actually finished it out right there. Everyone kind of grouping up, and they just get the stack, and they're like, "Cool, I died. That was worth." You know, because death timers at this point, they're not that long. Thrall's already back up in the lane. The experience isn't the biggest difference either. We can see that hero kills doesn't amount to a ton. We're looking at 1,000 experience in favor for the members of Draconis and Eternum, which allows them just to have this slight advantage that we're currently seeing. Asmodee will be dunking out a little bit more. We are going to be having a power slide coming out from King Dingo. Shock is in a bit of a bad spot. The healing from Whitemane isn't going to be enough as Zeratul gets that cleave and confirms the kill, picking up a third for the members of DE. We have a single altar phase, and they have to give this over. Members of Church of Murky, They lost their Nubarek way too early before that engagement could really take place. Jazzy will grab. I'm looking at some of these members. I'm like, no one tried to poke out with that? I guess they didn't want to worry about staggering a death. I don't know. I feel like there might have been a dunk available, or there was some chain lightning off of the thrall, or just, you know, anything else that they could have thrown out there. But they could have been off of cooldown or on cooldowns, or just not wanting to take the engagement. The team is a little split at this point. They're going to be trying to take this camp, but if they continue to pressure this, DE should be able to steal this away. 87 stacks sitting on that Asmodee currently. They do drop the demon army. Okay. I was like, are they engaging? No, they're just kind of feigning that they're going to be stepping up. Jazzy and Redbeard just going back and forth in this mid lane, as I think Redbeard is going to be double soaking. The Divine Steed that they have at level 7 will allow them to do that a little bit more efficiently. It's a lot like On a Pale Horse from Malthael, but that's from level 1, where you can often see Malthael double soaking lanes because of the speed boost that he gets on that mount. Now we go back into... Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. Some other people are using the match lobby, and I was like, wait, am I missing messages from our match? No, we're good. Okay. Knock back onto Shook. That is going to be the stun coming out onto King Dingo. I don't think they have the power slide available. Jazzy looking for a flank, though, in this fight, trying to find their way onto Begully. No one scouting out Jazzy either. We have 10s for both teams. The Mosh Pit, Ring of Frost, Massive Shove. I'm assuming it's going to be Void Prism. I don't think we're going to get a Might of the Nerazim here. It's possible, but I don't think we're going to be getting it. Also, Isolation for the Dahaka. And everything else is going to be pretty standard. We're going to be having Tide of Sin for the Asmodee. We'll have the Sundering for the Thrall. Web Wrap. We're going to be having Scarlet... No, not Scarlet Aegis. Either way. No, Scarlet Aegis. And then we'll also be having the... Rel's ultimate as well. Sorry, we have a Void Prism in the background. We're going to be having Shook going into the Void Prism. They get the burrow out in time. That's going to be the Mosh Pit to catch almost all the entire team. Thrall's the only one who isn't in there. Nubarek will be getting picked off first in this engagement. They also have the Ring of Frost that dumped underneath it. Begully gets power slid through, and they get picked off as well. Ardent Defender is used on Urel, and that pulls her back to full health, but she needs to get out of there. I completely blanked out on her ultimate there, and I was just like, it's something Defender, but every ultimate happened right after that. So a nice fight in favor for DE. They take this altar and they take the game in their favor, pushing the members of Church of Murky down to 28 core health with their 32s. Jazzy a little bit low here, going to get the pustule from Stukov, and now we have the lanes reset once again. We have Urel going to the top lane. We do have that Dahaka in mid, who'll just be getting the clear, and now 11 to 12. Starting to see a little bit of a gap between these two teams start to form, and it's looking in favor for Draconis and Eternum, but they still need to get a few stacks finished out on the side of Church of Murky. That Crash Lightning isn't too far off at 17 out of the 30, if I'm not mistaken. There's 154 out of the 200, and then there's another 200 on top of that for the baseline quest for Asmodan. Jaina has already finished out hers, but she is only a third of the way through her baseline quest, and Stukov with the Fetid Touch is only sitting at 7 out of the, I want to say it's 40? 30, okay. Zeratul and Dahaka will be grabbing the top lane camp that will push in. Nice for them, but they're also needing to defend the bottom lane as well, as there are going to be 4 members pushing. No one going for that mid lane soak. Asmodan not going to be going for any sort of split with that or using any of the generals, or excuse me, the lieutenants to push into there, but that is going to be the power slide coming out in the bottom lane. Redbeard is in top lane. There's a little bit of a fight breaking out everywhere as King Dingo is going to be getting low, but as well as Shock. But that Zeal from Begully is getting so much value. Jazzy getting the Hearth out before they get spotted by Yrel. Nice play there, as we do have a little low trade going between Dahaka and Yrel here, but a double altar phase, top left and top right. 10 seconds left on this. This might have been a little bit of a late call on the side of Church of Murky to grab this siege camp, as the altar will be popping up here. They could play this on the aggressive side, and it seems like that's what they're doing exactly. If they can delay this out, that'd be big for them, because now they can 5v5 over this point once Stukov gets there, and actually it's going to be a little bit less as Church of Murky is going to be losing their Thrall here. They can move over, and they potentially could be doing 8 points of core damage. Redbeard wants to try and deny that, and the rest of the team is looking for an entryway into this, but with them split and also without a Thrall, there isn't much to do here as they get a lockdown on Yrel. They blow her up, and that is a second pick in favor for the members of Draconis and Eternum, and that will allow them to pick up another 4 points into the core of Church of Murky. 20-32. Sappers are going to be going into the bottom. Won't confirm the bell tower conversion, but it does put it down to half health. The only hero in the game with Mule left is going to be Abathur, and they're not in this game, so there's no way to get that building back up to health unless they lose it and then win it back. But everyone is back from death on the side of Church of Murky. And now we see the splits across the map. This is the odd spot to be in, because if you're not winning any fights, you can't get any kills. How do you adjust your play? Asmodan needs one more stack, and they can get this through the bottom lane here. That'll be finished out. And so they'll have cooldown reductions for these fights, which allow them to throw in more globes. They just need to make sure that they're getting some extra damage in there as well. They get the dive in, but it doesn't connect onto anyone. That is going to be the dunk out from Asmodan as well. Solo target Mosh in this backline. That is going to be onto Orion. King Dingo. Oh, actually, excuse me. There's going to be the KV strike in the web rep, as Shock is going to be in a bit of a bad spot. I don't think they have a burrow out. That is going to be the Void Prism onto a couple members as well. Ring of Frost comes out on top of that. I don't think it times out with the... Actually, it did time out with the Void Prism. They catch a couple members here. Orion's so low. The Zeal, I don't think is going to be enough as they lose Asmodan and Thrall. Looks like Sally Whitemane should be the next one to go down. Yrel is actually going to be turned on. She pops the Ardent Defender, but it's just a 2-minute cooldown as they lose 4 members. They have the Sappers trying to sneak into this bottom lane. Jazzy actually going to be backing out there. They'll be able to get the clear into this, but this is a triple altar phase, chat. Triple altar phase. So we're going to be having a total of 30 points. No, just kidding. I can do math. It's going to be 12. If they could poke at this left side at least. And they're actually not... Well, Dahaka probably has Brushstock. They're trying to delay this out as long as possible. Right side's going to be picked up by Stukov. We have Zeratul going over to the bottom. So they're going to delay out the left side. Jazzy's going to have to make a whole map rotation, though. That's the only hard part here. Judo Chop does not have a lot of mana here, and they have the Anubrak getting out, which is barely in health. So many of the members are getting low on the side of DE, but they're staying alive with the pustules from Stukov as we have the web rep going out onto the ETC. No Mosh available for them at this time, and it is on cooldown as well. They have the knockback going out. King Dingo trying to make sure that they get their friendly members out just safely, and that is going to be the dunk going out from Asmodan, but no one going down. They end up losing their Thrall once again. They had Yrel tap for Well and Mana. She does. She's trying to find an entryway into the backline here, but this team is already being chased out, and I think she doesn't want to use it. They do stall this out. They actually double down on that stall. And they got a couple members with that globe, so it does reduce the cooldown down by a second or two. I believe it's 0.5 for heroes, 0.25 for minions. And I think if they hit a couple heroes, I think it's a 12-second cooldown overall, so it's still going to be quite a bit. So they end up getting 12 core shots into the core of the members of Church of Murky, and DE now moves on to boss. I don't think there's going to be much they can do in the realm of defending against this pickup here. They are going to be moving in. They see the Asmodan will be throwing the globe, so they have scattered out. Yrel moves in. Does she have the knockback? It's not going to be there, as that is going to be Judo Chop and team are working their way onto this. Sundering comes out from the Thrall Thrall to try and buy them time, but that is going to be the tongue drag to confirm the kill onto Yrel. 14 to 16 in levels, 0 to 13 in kills. We have the members of DE shark their way into mid lane, go for some extra experience. They could also pick up the left side Sapper Camp and try and push in bottom a little bit more. They do have this Talontier advantage. They can play hyper aggressive. They have almost every heroic off cooldown except for the isolation from Dahaka. King Dingo already setting up for this. Thrall does poke out from that bush. The rest of the team does start to move in for this, and it looks like they're saying, you know what, Dahaka is soaking mid. We'll just use you as a brush shock if we need it. There isn't too many entry points in here as Shock is going to get power slid on. There's no Mosh to be had. Thrall with 24 stacks on that Crash Lightning as well. We do have Zeratul getting the cleave onto a couple of these members. There is going to be the Frostwolf going out. Dunk going to connect onto a few. And now I'm waiting with bated breath. We have King Dingo with a knockback. They do pick this up. Void Prism in the backline. We also have the Web Wrap onto the Jaina. That does mean that they don't get the Ring of Frost, but the Mosh Pit goes off. The Ring of Frost will be underneath it. They're dumping the snow on top of that. The Tongue Drag goes out, confirms the kill. They also have the Ardent Defender on Yrel for a couple seconds. This will buy some time, but here's the thing. She is locked down and silenced, and she is dead. That is going to be 3 members picked up in favor for the team of Draconis and Eternum, and there is a double altar phase. This could be checkmate. Unless they can poke this out, they're not going to be poking out the stew coffin. This is going to be game number 1 going over in favor for the members of Draconis and Eternum. GG. Well played. Game number 2 between these two teams. We are going to be heading to... Timed it out just right. But... we got ourselves a map number 2, and if you came in a little bit late to these games and you're just like, oh man, how did all this happen? I don't understand. Let's fix that. The coin flip was won by the members of Draconis and Eternum. They went ahead and banned out Tomb of the Spider Queen. Dragonshire was banned out by the members of Church of Murky. Towers of Doom was the first map chosen by Draconis and Eternum, and they won it. Church of Murky decided to go for first pick for game number 2, so we are going to Cursed Hollow, chosen by DE. Now we can go back into our draft as we once again have Mal'Ganis and once again have Diablo not in this game. And we actually see an Asmodan being banned out as well. I didn't switch the teams, did I? No, I didn't. I'd imagine they eat whatever floats by, kind of like what we do to Div 2 teams. Oh, dang! That's some smack talk right there in Twitch chat. Clip it? I don't know. All right, so last band's going to be coming out, and at this point, I don't know these teams well enough, and I don't know their playstyle, so I wasn't going to be, oh yes, like, because there's a lot of things. Like, I can talk about the rotations on the map. I can talk about Hanzo and Genji and high mobility heroes, things like Abathur, but with some of these teams, like, there's just personal playstyles where, like, I won't be able to guess it. So bans, they're pretty straightforward. Strong engagement tools being taken away. There's also some good AoE poke and just setup, but we are going to be having Church of Murky taking away the Dahaka at the start here. Okay. All right, so the Dahaka will be the start out. That's not bad. They're going for a high global mobility team. They could honestly go to double, triple global if they wanted to pick up Falsetto or Brightwing on top of that. But we do have this 1-2 pick coming out from DE. They will go for the Orphea, and they are going to be grabbing Yrel. So a lot of... we're already seeing some nice picks up here. Abathur incoming, fingers crossed. I hope so. What's up, Aggressive Cookies? Thanks for coming by. That's a great username. It's almost like there was one that used to pop into this chat all the time. It was Laughing Underwater. I don't know why, but like it always like made me giggle. It just I don't know. Just maybe it's the idea of it. Either way, picks coming through. They could go for their main support and just some follow and their tank. So this is main tank Blaze with an Alexstrasza. Okay, I like it. I think the Alexstrasza offers a lot. There's in a lot of maps where you have control points, for example, or even brawling points, like you have Volskaya Foundry, you have Infernal Shrines. Like even on Cursed Hollow, Alexstrasza is great because she's point control based. When she goes into that dragon form, she's something heavier to deal with, and you can also get the. I've drank a bunch of tea apparently, and I can't talk without burping. She can drop down the double abundance circle in her base form as well as her dragon form. I like it. I like their draft so far. A lot of good sustain. Dahaka has sustain. Blaze has sustain. Alexstrasza can heal. So there's that. But now, I would think that you'd go into the choke out the supports, take out things like Deckard Cain. Oh, they want to ban out the Ana, and they're afraid of the nano boost onto the Orphea potentially. Orphea does have great poke. I do not know her talent kit yet by heart. No, my Ana. Oh, let's see. These teams know each other a little bit more than I know them. So there's apparently some flavor picks here that we're not going to be seeing. But Stukov coming out once again. The Stitches to follow up, a combo that we talked about last game on Towers of Doom. They totally could go into an Abathur here, but they're going to need it'd be like high execution like Genji to follow up. Or Jaina maybe? Yeah, you get some lockdown with Blaze and Dahaka, and you can dump Snow with Jaina, but that's still, that's very much still just sitting on the shoulders of Jaina, and I guess the clone of Abathur. But those two do pair well together. Alarak will be grabbed here, and a Vala on top of that, so a lot of good melee damage, engagement control. I like this draft coming out from Church of Murky. It's hyper aggressive. It's going to get some really, really good value for them if they can, well, utilize it and actually get the damage they're looking for. Oh god, an Alex Strauza game. Kriv, you ready to, are you getting your sticky notes ready? Ana's a good against Alex too. Very true. Very, very true. And Morpheus Blobby, that's a very good point. Grenade will make it a little bit harder, but Hanzo will be picked up here, and last picked is kind of funny to consider as this is, you know, it's a double boss map. Hanzo offers a lot of good poke. He offers a lot of good vision. And he's got great mobility to get out of some tight situations. And Curse Hollow has a lot of good areas where he can disengage by jumping over the wall and being like, all right, cool, deuces, I'm out. And if he has mount out after that, there's no chase. I'll have my note post game. Notes, excuse me. But let's go ahead. Let's pull it away here. We're going to get ourselves loading into game number 2 in just a second. Bloody Soul Stealer, what's up? Thanks for coming by. Thanks to everyone who's coming by and checking out the game, supporting your friends. It's, as I said, it always, like, I love the fact when I see people just like, oh, I'm here because my buddy sent me, like, a Twitch link and he's playing this game or something. So just whenever someone's checking out the games, I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming by. And if you enjoy the Heroes of the Storm casting, this is where you'll find a ton of North America streams. So if you're enjoying the stream, please go ahead and hit that follow button. But we're loading in here in just a second here. Cursed Hollow is our map. This is going to be game 2 between these two teams, and I think got it. So let's go ahead. I'm going to find Valandrith, and we get into this game number 2. On the left-hand side, we are going to be having the members of Church of Murky trying to take us to that illustrious game number 3. We have J-Show going to be on the Alarak. Shock will be on the Blaze, while Begully going to be on the Alexstrasza. We'll have Redbeard going to be on the Dahaka, and Orion will round out the team on the Vala. On the right-hand side, we're going to be having Draconis and Eternum trying to close out the series with a 2-0. KV Strike will be on the Orphea. Select Draco will be on the Stukov. We're going to be having King Dingo on the Stitches. Jazzy will be on that Hanzo, and rounding out their team, Judo Chop on the Urel. We get into this. The solo laner is already going up into top and bottom. We're having a hook go out and almost connecting onto one, but even then, if it was onto that Blaze, they do have that jet propulsion to get right out of there. Gotta support Judo. There you go. Thanks for coming by and supporting your buddy. That's always the coolest part to me, is when people are just like, yeah, just come watch my games. It's gonna be awesome. Oh, gotta support your old captains. Well, thanks for coming by, Bloody. I appreciate that. KV Strike will be up in top lane against Redbeard and gonna have some pokes and some good mobility around them, so they might not get tongue dragged. But speaking of tongue drags, we're gonna be having a hook go out onto Begully, and they get hooked in and damaged quite a bit. Hanzo getting some nice poke out here, as I forgot to show our level 1 talents. And Hanzo actually going to be going into the target practice at level 1. Going to be getting target practice? Am I right on that? Yes. So going to be needing to hit everybody with that Storm Bolt as much as possible. I think it's 3 times for each hero. I remember I was playing like Quick Match once or Unranked or something. And I literally took that questing talent and then a minute in, I just go, oh, they have an Abathur, and just like completely like, all right, well, I guess I gotta go hunt Abathur, and I ended up getting the questing talent done, but it was like the end of the game when we were pushing their core. Either way, just lessons learned. Look who's on the enemy team and don't take target practice if there's an Abathur, because then you'll end up like me, not finishing it. But We have 1 minute 30 into the game. No camps being rotated off for just yet. We're going to be having the objective pop up in 120. Nope, I lied completely. There's going to be this camp on the right-hand side. Going to be finished up by Hanzo as well as Stukov. Thanks for catching that Falendrith. This will be pushed into mid lane. They're going to try and time this out for maybe the 2-minute marker or something, but they do need to go over and grab those Siege Giants. It does benefit them the most since it will be going into the bottom lane, and since they have their Dahaka... Well, no, Dahaka's actually in bottom. Sorry. I think, did they rotated that off. Okay. Because I was about to be like, wait, how did Dahaka get down there so quickly? He has Brush Shock. But that means that he might not have it for the first objective, as that is a 75-second cooldown, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's 70 seconds. I can't remember if I got 10 or 15 seconds added to it. But bottom lane is going to be pressured. They have top lane Siege Giants as well. Looking through some level questing talents for level 1. We just have that new habits for the Blaze. We have NASCAR Dahaka. Is that? No, that's not enhanced agility, is it? Tissue regeneration. That level 1 always, like, there's a couple of level 1s that get me, because it's just like, even then, like Leorit's like 13 and 16, I always get those two confused. Because they're just so close. They're just so close together in like the shading and everything. Either way, 4 is achieved for both teams, 5 to 5 in levels. First objective is going to be spawning in just a second here. Dahaka's still in bottom lane. We do have J-Show almost getting hooked there. Ding Dingo and crew will be able to just hold this over, at least in the lane. Judo Chop is going to be zoning away as well with that Righteous Hammer. Select Draco is going to get poked out by Shock. That's a nice use of the oil slick there and just light igniting that so that way they can't continue to get the capture onto this. Hanzo will also get that Sonic Arrow out, and now we kind of wait. And I think it's also the other thing too is, oh, I was thinking Dahaka would go for more of an aggressive brush shock, where they're going to have the sounds coming out. There's also going to be the silence out from Stukov. A lot of damage is going to be coming out onto the members of Church of Murky, and it looks like DE is going to be winning this over 4 now. Judo Chop needs to get out of there. Redbeard a little bit low on mana as well. Not too much available for them, as Orion is going to get poked by Hanzo from the back with those arrows. The Sonic Arrow goes out as well. Cycling those abilities allows them to just continually keep Orion from getting this. And no one is on it. Just no one's able to get this next. Oh, just out of range. Jazzy isn't able to get it. And that is going to be the first objective going over in favor for the members of Church of Murky. And as well, the members of Draconis Eternum will be picking up the first kill of the game onto Alarak here. They will be losing all of their stacks of Sadism, which I do not believe they had any because it is all dependent on enemy deaths. And now the rotations off into lane and to soak. Next objective will be on the right-hand side towards the mid lane. They're probably going to be wanting to put their Dahaka in the furthest part of the map, and basically if you burn the brush stock at this point, you won't have it in time for the objectives. And so, as you can already see, they just kind of leave their Dahaka in top lane. Maybe they'll soak in excess in that top lane, then try and find some aggressive brush stock into the flank. That's typically where we see these happen, so that's what I'm expecting here. The hook goes out onto Orion. There is the slam as well. Shock going to be stepping up as well, maybe thinking that their teammate's going to be in danger, and that was a bit of a bad move. They do pop the Pyromania. They get really low, just under 400 health. Double Hearth, though. With that engagement, that gives this objective over in favor for the members of Draconis Eternum. And we're just kind of Alarak soaking bottom lane. Alexstrasza will be in the mid. This is so far in favor for Draconis Eternum. I'm trying to find what's the best way that they can find an entryway into this. I wonder if it's just they need their 10 so that they can have isolation and maybe Counter-Strike or even Charge Strike. I'm trying to look at this, but even then, like if you're saying, all right, well, if it's just 10s, still DE has a lot of good 10 talent tools. Future Bile's great. Even if they go, they could honestly just go for Gorge on Stitches and just kidnap someone and blow them up. That could be the way that they go about it. But even then, Future Bile is such a good engagement tool for them where they can step up or even use it as a disengage. I like it all the way around for both of these teams. I'm just waiting for this 10 fight when we get the heroics unlocked and we can really see what they're going to be doing to each other here. But tribute spawning in 15 seconds here. We are going to be having 1-to-1 in favor for both of these teams, and 10 is on the precipice for both. Redbeard should have the brush stock available. They can soak this top lane a little bit longer. Maybe to look to see them go for some sort of brush stock in this lower bush here, or just finding something in this back line. I think no, there are any extra bushes over in that direction. But Alexstrasza is going to be on this point. No one stepping up on this side. Okay. Jazzy will have that. Sonic, just everything is pretty much standard across the board. Hook will be going out, doesn't connect. We do have Judo Chop in the back, just getting onto B Gully here. We do also have the Jet Propulsion connecting. That's going to be the Rain of Vengeance, slow them down. The silence is going to be there. Rush Shot coming out from Dahaka. They need to get some sort of aggressive drag. That is going to be the Charge Strike going in as well. The Hanzo is going to get the arrow. The Crushing Jaws on top of all of that. They start to blow them up. There's the Putrid Bile all the way around them. They cannot get out of here. Shock is getting body blocked by King Dingo. Tongue Drag is going to be connecting out onto one member. We do have B Gully coming back down from the Cleansing Flame, and that's going to be the Dragon Form popping up as well. 2 members are down, but they do have that Yrel killed. Dahaka goes down, so it's currently a 3-for-1 trade in favor for the members of Draconis Eternum, and they will be picking this up, pushing themselves into that 2 to 3 phase. They could rush a boss if they really wanted to. Hanzo doesn't have all the standard talents that you'd expect with that simple geometry, but they do have the serrated arrows, as well as, I cannot think of the 7 talent off the top of my head, Never Outmatched. Granted, Never Outmatched was changed. It no longer is auto attack based. It is hitting enemy heroes to get the cooldown reduction. Oof. That was a good fight between these two teams, and I'm glad to see that they're going to be they're whittling their way into some of these fights on the side of Church of Murky. In the last game, it seemed like every single time Draconis Eternum really won out every single fight, but now we're seeing some fight back. We saw that pick onto Yrel. Almost every heroic is off cooldown. Cleansing Flame has another 23 seconds on it. Orion's a little bit of a bad spot, but they do have the... Oh my god, actually, no, it's going to be King Dingo in a bit of a bad spot. The Hanzo gets the arrow out as well. Vala goes down, as well as Alarak, and they turn this around so quickly. Redbeard does get the isolation onto Judo Chop, but that isn't going to do them a whole lot of help here, as they are going to be trying to make their way out, but they end up getting picked off. Meanwhile, Bigully is getting poked and chased by Hanzo. They end up getting that, and that is going to be all the members, excuse me, 4 members going down on the side of Church of Murky. And with this boss timed out fairly well, this is going to be a half-health boss pushing into the top lane. The rest of the team will be there. Hanzo in mid trying to work that fort down, and bottom lane is already stacked up into the tower, so they're going to be able to get that push naturally from the minion wave and win that out. This is a strong push for the members of Draconis Eternum, and this is going to put them up quite a bit in experience as well. You can see that they're soaking almost they're soaking every single lane, so it's going to really bolster their experience. They'll be able to finish out through bottom. Top's already been cleared, and they're maybe going to be able to get the keep front gate, but I don't expect them to get the keep. 29 seconds left on this curse. Bottom fort goes down. Hanzo has arrow and 4. They could go for some sort of across-the-map play here, but they're just going to go ahead and just auto and get some damage out in this lane onto the gate. They confirm mid lane as well. They could really quickly go for that clear onto that minion wave, make sure they get the experience. 12 to 14 in levels, 1 to 8 in kills, and this team is, I wouldn't say running away with it, but they've got a good footholder as J-Show is getting that charge going. Not going to be happening. It is Deadly Charge, right? Yes, Deadly Charge. Bottom lane got stacked up quite a bit. Jazzy will be leaving at this time. Boss has been cleared in top lane. They have periodic catapults in favor on the side of DE. Oh, Jazzy. They do probably have the wall hop, so they're going to be waiting for the team to come around. Oh, no, that didn't go the way I think they wanted it to. They almost had that hearth either way, but the arrow's going to be coming out from Hanzo, connecting onto a couple members there. That is also going to be Tongue Drag going out, or excuse me, no, the isolation going out. I thought they got the Tongue Drag as well on top of it, but no. They disengage from this boss. Yrel is back. They could try and fight this. They do have the talent tier advantage on the side of DE, and they go for it. That is going to be the Deadly Charge into the backline. We're going to be having the silence on the Stukov as well, trying to mask that silence. That is going to be the Dragon's Breath, or excuse me, the Cleansing Flame onto a couple of members. The Crushing Jaws will be connecting onto the backline, and that is also going to be Pyromania as well. We currently see Alarak going down to Jazzy. We also have Shock going down on top of it, not getting the jet propulsion out as they're looking for. We also have Redbeard, Bigully, and Orion still alive. Redbeard gets hooked in. That is going to be the silence out from Stukov. They're currently getting some nice poke damage on this, but the Dragon Form will keep them alive for now. Well, Redbeard is trying to find an out here, but it won't be enough, and they pick off the Dahaka. 12 to 15 in levels. They move over to the boss, and they say this is going to be our bottom lane push without a problem, and the next objective should time out fairly soon, so they can go ahead and rotate over there, maybe grab their siege camp, maybe even take the aggressive side siege camp in their favor. This is a strong start for them. I was curious about that too, Kriv. I was wondering why we didn't see Counter-Strike. Deadly Charge is cool for the engagement of the backline, but I don't think I don't typically see it till post 20, and mostly because a lot of teams Deadly Charge in Counter-Strike because they try and they go, oh, this Alarak Deadly Charged in. Let's just, oh wait, no, we just got Counter-Strike. Nice dodge from Redbeard there. That was really good to not get caught out by that hook, but with everyone just coming back and they them grabbing this camp on the top left, they do give over this bottom lane keep, so that will be continuous catapults through the lane. Do they try and end off of this? Hook goes out. Alexstrasza will be caught. That is going to be the arrow from Hanzo as well. They blow up the Alexstrasza. Orion is going to be the next one to live, as we have Shock using the combustion as well, which I can't believe I didn't even notice that till literally right now. Crushing Jaws connects onto the blaze, and that is going to be the Redbeard picked up as well. Deadly Charge out there trying to get that YouTube Alarak play, but it is not going to be happening. Hook coming back in. They pull the Alarak in, and that is going to be game number 2 going over to the members of Draconis and Eternum. GG. Well played. All right. I'm just finding out if they want to do an interview. Also, really quickly, during that game, Bloody Soul Stealer, thank you so much for the follow. I do appreciate that support, my friend. And, of course, Streamlabs isn't doing things, so let's see if we can force it to do alerts again. Reload. Hanzo finishes quest at 12:39. Game ends at 12:40. Oh. Alright, let's see. Can we get it? There we go. Thank you so much for that follow during the game. I appreciate that. Thanks for supporting the channel. And your friends. Into that Jazzy. Spell into correctly. Alright, I'm going to jump up there now. All right, and I'm joined right at this moment by Jazzy. Congratulations on your 2-0 victory. How are you feeling after that?
Pretty good.
That was an awesome series that we just got to see from you all. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this. Game number 2, you guys ended up banning out Ana. Or no, they banned out Ana against you. Sorry, I'm doing this backwards. I was trying to remember draft. They banned out Ana against you. What was it supposed to be a Nana boosted Orphea? Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I'm kind of curious as to what the Ana play was, or just is there an Ana god?
Well, our healer does play, like she can play Ana.
Mm-hmm.
But I think looking at their bans, I think they're more worried about the heal deny on Alexstrasza.
True. Which, yeah, is actually Twitch chat.
I think that's what their concern is. Granted, yeah, Ana can work with both me as Hanzo or Strike as Orphea.
True.
But I mean, we just worked out really well. Just organizing all of our abilities together.
Oh yeah. It's surprising that they weren't worried at all about like a Decker Cannon or anything like with like Emerald to do healing reduction through that as well. I mean, Ana is a little bit more, you can throw it out more often, but that's still an option too. So even if they were just like, oh, we're worried about that, it's just like, all right, cool, Decker Kane does it also. But going over back to the first game, when they picked up the Asmodee in the first slot, were you worried at all? Because that is a hero that, when stacked up quickly, can run really, really rampant against your team. Were you worried? Were you kind of adjusting, or was it just like, all right, they can have it, we don't really care?
I think it was more of just don't care.
Okay. I'm always just curious, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It wasn't that big of a deal, I guess, at the end of the day. We were more focused on our draft and what we can do, what do we need, rather than kind of worrying, just kind of understanding what does their draft do and what are they looking for by the way they play.
Sure.
And just kind of adjusting to it, and then finding the I guess the weak points in their play.
Oh, there were some really, really good games, but at this point, that kind of wraps up our short little interview that we were going to do here. Before I let you go, any shoutouts that you want to give?
So our one person who wasn't with us, our other teammate, his name is Smoky Dragon. You can catch him on twitch.tv/SmokyDrago. Check him out there. He likes to feed no matter what kind of game he plays. So
Those are the best kind of streams.
Exactly. And the best part is we all make fun of him anyway for it. So.
Good teammates, good friends.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the interview. That kind of wraps it up for me. But congratulations on your 2-0 victory, and I can't wait to see you all further down in the season.